to thank the wonderful organizers of the Institute of Estonian Language and for the great dancing we had last night. And I would like to ask that if I am invited, if I have another presentation in ELEX, please don't put me on the last day after the conference dinner. Obsolete means out of use, and actually it is the first meanings here, which I'm referring to, particularly the third. So basically, I'd like to talk about the situation of the dictionary world today, and what I thought I might do, and that was a good thing after the conference dinner, because I had this idea last night, is to go very quickly through this presentation and then give another one. Because some people told me how pessimistic my comments were yesterday, and maybe to try to see some sunshine there. So this is a definition from a dictionary, and you can see that in the third, it talks about a word that has not been in widespread use since for about 250 years. And of course, it is going to take a very long time if dictionaries become obsolete until we can use it in that sense there. The situation is, we are very well aware. I'll try to run through this. We have gone through a lot of that. Basically, this is a talk I had last year at the Institute of Dutch Lexicology in Leiden, and that I gave again several times this year in some universities and lexicography conferences. What has actually changed is that maybe this talk has become a bit obsolete. I think that it is much less necessary. There has been a lot of discussion about this subject increasingly. So very quickly, everywhere, print sales are going down. These are just general trends in the US, e-books, e-dictionary devices in Japan and East Asia, online in Germany, usually for free. In Denmark, very successful dictionaries paid for online. Various apps in Korea. Of course, things are much more widespread than that. You have online in the US and apps, et cetera, et cetera. What has changed, by the way, from my presentation of a year ago is that then I said that actually print sales are still pretty good in the Netherlands and in other places like Brazil, et cetera. And from my recent information, you are beginning to feel that change there as well. I was just in Frankfurt Book Fair last week. Dutch publishers of dictionaries are talking about 25% decrease in book sales over the last year, just as an example. So about a year ago, when Macmillan announced that they will stop printing their dictionary and go online, there was a very lively debate on email lists, etc. Very short. It lasted about a week or two. And basically, we see that all over in the industry of publishing, of reference, encyclopedias, the media in general, etc. There has been discussion going on for a long time at various lexicography conferences in particular. In general, if I would try to put one against the other, the move to digital dictionaries is usually for practical, up-to-date purposes. It's things which are economical, etc. There is the side of the cultural thing of countries like France, where there is a much stronger culture of the book, where we see this change happening more slowly. There were lots of emotional things related to this discussion about, some of it was even quite sensual about the smell of the book and the touch and things like that. And basically a lot of it to do with personal preferences, which go again to things of habits. And on the other hand, a much growing pace of innovation. The subject has been discussed in my newsletter, Kernerman Dictionary News, for some time. There have been 2 articles by Charles Levine, a previous publisher of Random House Dictionaries, that he brought the very optimistic point of view about the coming boom in English lexicography. On the other hand, Joseph Esposito, who used to be president of Merriam-Webster and Britannica, had an article called Dictionary, Another Netscape. And he said there, bye-bye, Merriam, Oxford, etc. He identified Microsoft as taking over. Basically, his analysis was not that non-accurate, but basically it's not Microsoft, but it's really Google who is taking a lot of the space today. Julian Parrish, then head of the dictionaries at Microsoft, wrote about their wonderful cooperation with publishers. Adam Kilgariff had an article about if dictionaries are free, who will pay for that? John Morse, head of Merriam-Webster, wrote about their view, basically how they are becoming what he called eyeballs for advertising and making their money from that. In the recent issue, which you have here, which is mainly devoted to this subject with articles by several people involved in that. And this is here just with reference to the Macmillan announcement, and Michael Rundle mentioned then about the change from lookup to search. Basically, this is our PR of my company, K Dictionaries, from 2006, which had the thing of search there with various languages. So this has been going on for a while. This is the sad reality. And I'm sorry if I got many of you depressed yesterday with my comments. I should just explain that I was just focusing on a certain aspect. I think there's lots of positive about that as well. This is this is on the depressive side, big dictionary names, most of them, that are either closing down or shrinking considerably. I put the name of my company there because maybe we will be there this year or next year or sometime soon. I think most of us are on very shaky ground regarding these changes. As was mentioned here too, there is much more state involvement or public involvement in lexicography, in dictionary making, and these are just examples of some countries with national activity for lexicography. And I'm not going to go into user participation. In this talk, it was very well covered yesterday with great talks and that I attended anyhow. And this is a huge subject on its own. So the whole situation there is changing. This is a quote from the announcement by Chambers Harrop from 4 years ago, when they were among the only ones to officially announce that they are closing down. And I would like to draw your attention here to this PR statement, to the reference to readers and to books going online, where generally they expect, readers expect to get their information for free. I thought that sadly shows a bit about the problem of Chambers Harrop at the time, that they did not even realize that for many years it's not really readers, it's users. And this is a very important thing. Another thing which I felt they missed the point was talking about going online. By then, we already had lots of smartphones, the iPhone, things like that, and you could tell the direction things were taking. And part of what we are trying to do is to adapt ourselves to this very rapidly changing reality in order to continue and prosper somewhere there. Another quote from about a year ago from German, which was translated automatically by Google Translate. And I would like to draw your attention here to the aspect that basically this guy, Lars Niedertaf, has a very good analysis of the situation, except that he is quite satisfied with the Google Translate here and with various automated things. And again, drawing the attention that for most people, most of the time, that is good enough. You can see for yourself how good quality or not this sort of automatic translation is. So the question that has been discussed also, going back to the lively discussion regarding Macmillan, etc., mainly focused again through, will there still be dictionaries in print? Whereas I was wondering for quite some time, will there be dictionaries at all? And if so, what will they be like? And how? And how are we going to use them? And the idea of having to redefine what a dictionary is. Because what we see is that the dictionaries blend in NLP or LT systems. They stop being just a dictionary, but their content, which is very valuable, is being used there. So they give and they kind of evaporate. And we see all kinds of new media and new needs of users, and therefore new forms and different kind of solutions that affect that. And this is just a list of trends, which I'll go over quickly, and then I'll have some time to maybe show a next step. So it's basically movement from print to digital, from something tangible to right now virtual, or online or apps, etc., but more and more invisible. Sort of if we are using Google Translate, again, for example, there are dictionaries there, but we do not refer to the dictionary anymore. So it's not a product that we were used to have, but it's various services that are developing from that. We used to have one dictionary for life that was passed very often in a family from one generation to the other, and now we have just endless dictionaries simultaneously. A very positive thing, by the way. From one size fits all to customized, personalized, privately owned to publicly funded and shared. Again, a lot of these things have been discussed here. From something that was paid to so-called free, and I'll just like to comment there that this is, we pay. There is no free. You pay by being brainwashed by ads, by losing your privacy. We pay in different ways. And we see more and more ways of actually people paying for dictionary services, as I mentioned before in Denmark, for example. Movement from the passive reader to an interactive user. The generation gap is very important here. I think that it's actually older people like my father who tend to stick with a print dictionary, whereas the younger generation, they very often don't want to open a book at all. The whole thing of dictionaries for human users to dictionaries for machines, which is growing in importance. The passage from content to technology, since we are using so much technology, that affects the kind of dictionaries that we are creating and using. The passage from words to phrases or multi-word units or patterns, etc., to dealing with full language. And from dictionaries to actually dealing with the lexicography. So that's it for this paper. It's been a bit fast, but I hope it's okay. And I'll try to find, sorry, I think I need help with a computer to move to the other one. There are still 5 minutes, so I'll just try to rush through it. Thank you. I gave a talk last month in Berlin at a Meta Forum, which Gregory mentioned earlier this morning, about the needs of the industry today in order to get funds from the EU. No, I need it from here.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that it actually shows a little bit of how we are trying to adapt to these kinds of changes. There's less than 5 minutes left. I will try to go through it. Some of the things, it's the Meta one. Yeah. Thank you. So it's about multi-language lexical networks, describing our background. We've been around for the last 20 years, cooperating with publishers, more and more various technology firms, the academy, and trying to become post-dictionary in the sense of use this know-how in dictionary making in a way that could serve LT applications. So rather than compile dictionaries, we're basically developing lexical databases. We're trying to deconstruct languages and map them, see the different links, etc., and then reconstruct in various ways, including translations, and being able to use the same database, which has more than what we need for a single dictionary, in different ways for different users, and extracting different elements from that, and then adapting it also in various language pair contexts, especially to suit each other. Basically, this is main components of what I call here the mapping the DNA, getting to the main elements when we are preparing entries. These are the various layers. We begin from monolingual in order to go to multilingual, bilingual, and these networks where all of these things kind of flow together with each other, which is a very complex and monstrous work. And basically, this is what we're trying to get to. I think it's impossible for us, but this is where we would like to be, so that each language is actually a focus on its own and connecting directly with other languages, not necessarily having English in the center and with all languages going through English. These are languages that we have so far. It's just that so happens that half of these 24 are EU languages and the others are not. And for the Meta, I had it in 2 different colors. And this is a very quick sample of a simple word in Dutch with the very basic information there. This is what it's beginning to look like when we are adding here just major European languages. So there is a translation equivalent for each sense and for each example and phrase. From here, we can just use it as a bilingual language pair. Now, if I will go in, I'll be able to click on a French word, and I chose here in the first example, je tombe malade. If I press tombe, it will take me to the French, to Dutch, and here we see that tombe is already a more important word, many senses, etc. And this is what it would look like for French into other languages, about 15 here, or a dozen at least. I think we can finish it there. I hope this is a little more optimistic about that. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ilan. You really rushed through. You also saved like 30 seconds of your talking time. Well, then we have even more time for discussion, which I'd like to open. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Gregory, please.
So what is your goal in the number of languages you want to cover?
What is your goal on the number of languages you want to cover?
Not as many as yours. We simply can't. We're a small company, you know, we're small fish. So I think that all of these languages, we have 24 so far, which we use as a base, and we build the monolingual data set for. And it would be good to have the main languages, for example, here in Europe, in our region of the Middle East, we're nearly there. It would be nice to add Farsi, for example, and elsewhere in Asia. I don't think that we can go to more languages. Already our resources are finishing in that sense. So we definitely do need, and maybe in that case I will go and show you the end of this presentation. I might have finished too early then, and it would also perhaps give some reply to you. So basically this is the application of the dictionary content, okay, for machine translation, language learning programs, word processors, etc., and speech recognition, which is becoming more and more important in that sense. The bottom line, I thought I'll save you that, but we began this multi-language project 8 years ago, and that was our situation halfway through. We were doing pretty well. We were completely independent on that. Today we have about 80 language combinations that we developed, which is a lot. But our situation is much more difficult today, also because some of the partners of ours, including some names on the list of the dictionary names, which are decreasing. For example, another German name, which just happened this year, is Kernerman. And they already received a couple of new German bilinguals from us, and they're supposed to receive more, but they're not going to publish anything. So the market around is crushing, and these names, the big names, and these are just examples that are out, and these are the new ones, of course, just examples of them. Basically, our work is very slow, very laborious, long. It's a bit, I compare it often to marathon running. And I was encouraged to ask for help from the EU, so that was really the point of this presentation there. And those are the things that I think could help. And I'm really happy to hear about the ENET, what Taneka was talking about? Right, wonderful initiative, which is in the right direction, I think, of what we need. So things are looking up after all. And basically, we do need that vision. We need a very good technological infrastructure. Standards are very important. Long-term investment and support by national, international bodies, because we, as a small company, can no longer do such things on our own. So I would love to have, if not 7,000 languages, 70 would be great. But right now, to move from 24 to 25 or 30, already it's not as easy as it was for us before. And of course, the cooperation between the business and academia. And that was the end with the official EU languages.
Is there somebody else? Yes, please.
Ilan, you told me earlier during the conference there is not enough traffic on your web page. Don't you want to advertise your address of your web page?
No, I said to you something else. I said that we are not a publisher. We are not looking for traffic. There is sort of usually what we have online are things that we do that is our own research and development of what should our dictionaries be like, and they are also useful for some of our commercial partners. But it's not something that we try to get any traffic for, and that is what I answered you. That I said the main user on our dictionaries online is myself. except for some people that I enjoy to just, I'm able, since it's constructed in a good way, I'm able to, you know, on the spot, make a dictionary for you or for someone else according to the languages they're interested in.
Okay.
Okay, thank you again. I think we have to stop here since the other people from other sessions come in. Thank you again, Ilan, for this talk.